Good morning. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. Hearty welcome to the third day of orientation program. We begin today's session with a lecture by Dr. Lata Subramaniam, Assistant Professor, Department of Criminology, University of Madras. Dr. Lata holds a master's and doctorate degree in criminology from University of Madras and has also completed her MSc degree in cyber forensics information security with a distinction. In addition, ma'am has completed diploma and certificate courses in labor law, cyber laws, GIS management, and is a European Council certified computer hacking forensic investigator. Dr. Lata's research and training experience span a period of 22 and 15 years, respectively. Ma'am has held an array of prestigious positions earlier and has served as a visiting fellow, University of Mecca, from December 2018 to Jan 2019. Dr. Lata has an enviable record of awards and honors. To name a few, member of the First Court, Maulana Azad Urdu National University, Hyderabad, Best Researcher Award of University of Madras in 2015-16 and 2016-17. Ma'am is a member of several reputed societies and boards. She has worked as a project director for numerous funded projects and has guided over 75 research projects, including those for the award of MPhil and doctorate degrees. Dr. Lata has an exhaustive list of publications in the form of textbooks, reference books, articles, book reviews at both national and international levels to her credit, apart from editing several issues of newsletters of Indian Society of Criminology. Dr. Lata's list of paper presentations in national and international conferences and invited talks stand testimony to her expertise. Ma'am, thank you for accepting our invitation. It's an honor to have you as our guest speaker. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this opportunity. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, a very good morning to everyone. I thank the management of the Ethiraj College for Women, the faculties, the coordinators, and everyone for giving this opportunity to speak to the freshers on this orientation series of programs, and especially on cybersecurity, which is a vital topic and a need of the hour that everyone should be aware of this particular topic and they have to safeguard themselves. I move on to the topic before any introduction because I think we have very limited time today. So I will also share my PPT as one of the uh, yeah. So we speak about cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is very essential in the coming days because I don't think any of us are going to be without any smart gadget in the coming days, especially when the students, when they are using their mobile gadgets, laptops for their learning. It is very essential that everybody should be knowing about how do we secure ourselves in the cyberspace. And first of all, they should know like what is cyberspace and what is existing in cyberspace and how best we can utilize the cyberspace. When we know like how best we can utilize the cyberspace, definitely we'll be securing from unwanted issues in the cyberspace. Altogether, it is very essential that every human being henceforth know something about what can happen in cyberspace and how we can secure ourselves and avoid any untoward incident happening in the cyberspace. See, crimes do happen every day. Society cannot be without a crime. So the famous sociologist Durkheim used to say like crime is indicator of developmental factors. Okay, so but doesn't mean that the crime should be in the society that it can harm everyone. So crime cannot be avoided. Crime is actually inevitable, but we need to minimize the number of crimes and we need to minimize the victimizations getting happened to anyone. Okay, so when normally any crime happens, like it is easy to identify, but in the case of cyber crime the problem is it has got lot of uniqueness in it. cybercrime has got lot of uniqueness. See, we don't give importance to pickpocketing, we don't give importance to a robbery or dacoity. We don't have separate studies for preventing robbery, preventing pickpocketing, or preventing dacoity. But we have specific studies for preventing cyber crimes in the name of MSc Information Security and Cyber Forensics, or MSc Digital Forensics, or MSc Cyber Security in various places. So why do we actually need to have separate study, and why do actually we should give importance to cyber crimes to this extent? Like, is cyber crime so threatening, and why we are giving so much importance to cyber crimes? Yes, cyber crimes are to be given importance, and they have to be given a lot of attention, because now all the conventional type of crimes are moving into cyberspace. For example, whatever crimes happened in the normal course of life, theft, robbery, dacoity, rape, harassment, name any form, frauds, various types of cyber frauds, including banking frauds, economic frauds, so a white collar crime. So everything is now moving to a platform called cyberspace. See, in any crime, the modus operandi is very important for a police to investigate. Okay, modus operandi is nothing but the mode of operation of a particular crime. This is a Latin term. So when some crime happens, the police will look for a modus operandi. Normally, in the case of theft, or in the case of murder, what will be the modus operandi? In the murder, the modus operandi may be a kind of knife, a kind of weapon which can be used for committing a murder, or it may be strangulation. So you have lot of modes of operating a crime. Okay, in the cyberspace, what happens is the mode of operation for the criminals to commit a cyber crime is mostly the social media. Okay, so all of us are now definitely using social media. If I ask anyone whether you're not using any social media like Facebook or WhatsApp or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat, then I don't think anybody will say that I am without any social media, or at least I am without any smart gadget. So, it has become imperative that we use all the smart gadgets, and we are into social media, we are into online for various purposes like learning and enriching our knowledge or gaining our passion. So, we are into social media for some reason. But many times, the social media becomes the mode of operation for criminals to commit various crimes. So we need to be aware what exactly can happen in cyberspace or social media, and how we can prevent in the social media from any crime or from any criminal. All these criminals who were conducting this conventional type of crimes like theft, robbery, dacoity, harassment, rape, murder, so everyone have now moved on to the cyberspace, and they are actually trying to fetch their victims through the cyberspace and commit the crime easily. Okay, like it is so unique in nature that cybercrime can be committed anonymously. It is very difficult sometimes to find who is a criminal, though every criminal can be traced according to low-court principle of law in forensic science. Every criminal will definitely leave a trace, and it is possible to trace a criminal. But the amount of time which we are going to give for that, and the amount of trauma which we will undergo by the time we detect the crime is something very important in cyber crimes. So anonymity, many times we don't even know who is sitting on the other side. See, for example, now I am talking to you. Unless I have switched on my video for a while, you will not be knowing who I am. So anonymity is one of the major factors which plays as an uniqueness in the case of cybercrime. And the second uniqueness in the cybercrime is identifying the criminal, and also jurisdiction. See, when some murder happens, when some robbery happens, you know where it happened, and approximately you can actually figure out who had actually done. Maybe a short fellow or a height fellow, or someone who is black, someone who is fair enough, or someone who came by a bike, or someone who came by a car, or someone who came by walk. So you'll be able to identify the offender to some extent, or at least you can figure the incident. But in the case of cyber crimes, many times you don't even know that a crime has actually happened to you. We don't even know, the victims do not know that a crime is actually happening against them, or they are becoming a victim of cyber attack. See, cyber attacks are various types. like cyber attacks can happen to anyone. Doesn't mean that we are, you may be thinking like who is going to attack me over cyberspace. No, you also can be a silent a victim for a cyber attack. One example I can say is like virus. See, how many of us check our mobile phone or our laptop or any smart gadgets for for the availability of any virus, a worm, or any malware in our gadget? We don't, right? Unless the mobile phone or the laptop shows some symptoms, as COVID shows some symptoms. Like our laptop or smart gadgets also will show some symptoms at one point of time, like slowing down or excessive heat or excessive data being used. So unless someone realizes that something is going wrong in our gadget, we don't even know whether a virus is sitting in a smart gadget, or a worm is sitting in a smart gadget, or a spyware. Spyware is something very, very alarming, and which is actually spreading like anything. Criminals can spread any kind of spyware, and they can spy you for various reasons. Okay, so we don't even know like whether such spywares or virus or worms are existing in our mobile phone. So like anybody can become a victim. So in the case of cybercrime, it is better that we know what is happening in the cyber field, in the cyberspace, and how we can actually prevent ourselves from such cyber crimes. Okay, so like yeah. So, what is generally cybercrime? See, the terms may differ. Like they can call it as cybercrime, they call it as IT crime, they call it as digital crime, or they call it as online crime. But almost the meaning is the same. Only the technology is differing in all the nomenclatures. For example, when there was only one computer, only computer without network, we called it as computer crime. And when network came and IT field came, then we started calling us IT crimes. And when now the digital format and digital media has come, we call it as digital space. But altogether, the nomenclatures are differing, but the technologies are almost same. So any crime in the cyberspace involving computers, networks, IT infrastructure, and technology-based tools, either using them or against them, is called as cybercrime. Okay, so like if somebody says, the first mantra of this lecture, whichever I want to tell the youngsters are, if someone says that cyber security is 100% possible, if someone says that your mobile gadget is safe because you have an antivirus platform in that, your laptop is having one antivirus platform in that, if somebody says that 100% cyber security is possible and you're free of cyber crimes, then please take into account that definitely it is a myth. 100% cyber security is not possible at all. We can only prevent ourselves from to the maximum extent to prevent ourselves from the cyber crime. We can only prevent ourselves 80%, and 20% always there is a risk that anybody can become a victim of cyber attacks, because the cyber crime involves two elements. One is technology and the human. We can actually protect the technology, but we cannot protect or monitor every human who is actually using the technology, who is manufacturing the technology, or who is misusing the technology. So where there is a human element, definitely there will be a kind of violation, and there will be a kind of intentional and deliberate acts that may cause harm to anyone. And so like if anyone says 100% cyber security is possible, if anyone says, you're not able to use this social media because this particular social networking website, because like they are not secure, but you can actually use this particular social networking site which is secure. See, for example, suddenly there was a hype against WhatsApp, saying that WhatsApp is actually not secure, and all your chats are getting monitored. So people moved on to other platforms like Signal and Telegram. Okay, we don't even know what are these names before this particular issue came. So people moved on to Signal and Telegram. And when somebody says like no, Telegram is not safe, people move on to other platform. So if we keep moving on to other platforms thinking that they are 100% secure, but I can guarantee you, no social networking site or no cyberspace can be 100% secured. It can only be 70% or 80% secured, and we try to minimize our getting victimization by a cybercrime. So 100% cybersecurity is a myth. If someone says you're totally secured in the cyberspace and you can do anything in the cyberspace, that you can transfer your data, you can hold all the private data, or you can do insecure financial transaction because you have a safe gadget. Definitely do not believe that. It is not possible to have 100% security in the cyberspace, because other than technology, it also involves human being who invented the technology. So someone who invented the technology, and the same person or a person like similar to him can break the technology and try to create lot of cyber attacks. So 100% cyber security is not at all possible. And if you look into the usage of internet and social media in the last few years, drastically in the year 2020, the number of social media users and internet users have become very wide, and because of that you have lot of crimes also. The more and more usage, the more and more familiarity to one technology, the more and more possibility of crimes are also inevitable. So normally children and women are at major risk in cyberspace. Doesn't mean that men are not at risk. Men are also at risk in cyberspace, but most of the time children and women become easy victim in the cyberspace. There are a lot of modus operandi for them to become a victim in the cyberspace. One of the modus operandi, or one of the one of the way that they easily get victim is the usage of smart gadgets. So when they use smart gadgets, they don't know how to secure themselves. Okay, like through smart gadgets, lot of victimizations can actually happen. See, for example, all of us use smart gadgets. Okay, how do we whether we check whether our location is switched off. See, we should not switch on our location unless it is very essential. For example, you are using Ola or you are using Swiggy to order something, so when you need to switch on your location. But most of the time all of us keep our locations switched on. We never think that it is a danger, and we keep sharing our locations to criminals easily, and also to the applications which are working like a spyware in your own phone. Okay, so like we don't even monitor whether our locations are switched on, whether our camera is switched on. See, we think that the camera is not switched on because we are not using it, but we also have to ensure ourselves that the camera is on switched off mode, because there are a lot of spywares, there are a lot of spywares to the extent that see, normally what happens, we all keep our smart gadgets like our telephone, our mobile phone or laptop, in the bedroom, right, in the private space. We don't hesitate to keep all those gadgets in their private space. Okay, we don't even bother whether our children is sleeping next to us, whether our parents are sleeping next to us. But without a smart gadget, without the phone, we cannot sleep. We keep the phone aside to us. Okay, and we also sometimes keep the laptop. We study in the bed, and we also keep the laptop in our bed and we sleep. Okay, but how many of you know there are spywares in the market, like which are very dangerous, and which can be used by the criminals, that even when your mobile phone is in the switched off mode, even in your laptop is in the switched off mode, the camera can be switched on remotely. The camera can be switched on remotely by a criminal using a spyware, and they can monitor your private activities through the web camera, by hacking the web camera. So like your web camera can be hacked in such a way that it can be operated even from remote distance in the switched off mode also. So it is often we need to check, in fact every day we need to check whether our camera is switched off, whether our location is switched off, and we are not using that unless it is essential. But we don't know all these things, right? So we don't know all these things, and what we do, we actually assume that our phone is secure, our laptop is secure, and we are 100% secure, and we keep using them. We don't monitor for any signals. We don't monitor for any violations in the phone or the gadget, and we assume that we are safe. Okay, and what else normally the women and children or anybody does in the smart gadgets? Downloading all the applications. Okay, see, as I said, like cyber security is 100% a myth. Okay, and the second mantra is, because it is available free, please do not avail everything free. Okay, ஃப்ரீயா இருக்குன்றதுக்காக ஃபினைல கூட குடிக்காதீங்க அப்படி சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல. So like because it is available free, please do not avail everything, because in this world there is nothing free except your parents, except your mom and dad. Nothing comes freely in this world. Everything has a tag attached to that. Okay, apart from other than your parents, everything and everyone has a tag attached to that, and nothing comes free in this world. Okay, so what actually why I do say that? See, many of us are downloading lot of applications, right? We download applications from Google Play, we download applications from Apple Play Store. So we think that because it is included in Google Play Store or Apple Play Store or any other such platform to download applications, it should be safe. We again assume that it should be safe, right? But you should think once, like, why all these applications should be made free of cost. See, somebody sitting in other countries, most of these applications are not developed in our own country. These applications are developed in various other countries. I don't want to name the countries, but they are developed in various countries. Okay, so what is the need that somebody sitting in some other country which is miles apart have to develop one application which will make a person happy? See, what are the normal applications we download in the Google platform? We download applications for filtering, the camera filtering, or mostly girls download the filtering cameras, right? Like, for example, beauty cam, ucam, or beauty plus, or uta cam. So we have got lot of filtering applications, so we download all the filtering applications as and when it is needed. And for our education purposes, we download lot of scanning applications like cam scanner, etc. Okay, then most of us use applications like Truecaller, right? And some of us also use like a lot of online gaming applications. And as far as possible, whichever is needed, we try to download lot of social networking sites. But one should have in mind, like, before downloading any social networking site, we should think twice or thrice to know whether this particular app is needed for us so essentially, whether we need it so essentially that we cannot avoid this and we have to download this because we think it is free and download. But remember, it has got a tag. As I told you, only your parents are coming without a tag or without any price, but anyone and anything in this world definitely have a price. And in this case of applications, free applications which we download free without any amount of money, it has a tag called data. Okay, so your data is under compromise. The moment you download one application, you're giving lot of like, they will ask permission for accessing your photograph, for accessing your videos, for accessing your contacts. So you give permission for everything even without reading that. Okay, you think that that application is essential, so you download that and you give permission to them. Okay, but you should think twice whether we really I need it. And the moment you download one application, then definitely you're compromising your data. Whatever data you entered to download your application is compromised. And most of the time, the data in your laptop or in your computer where you have downloaded also get compromised. So it is not actually free. It is actually like has something attached to that, that is data theft or data monitoring. So you may be thinking, what people are going to do with my data? Anything can be done. The data which is in your mobile, including your contacts, your SMS, your photographs, your videographs, can be used by anyone at any point of time. Okay, and many people, many youngsters ask me, ma'am, I downloaded this application. For example, like, I downloaded Rootacam, I downloaded like Beauty Plus, or I downloaded this application, that application, and after using that, I deleted my photographs, I deleted my videographs, and I deleted that application also. So am I safe now? Okay, so the third mantra which I want to say in this particular lecture is, once you enter into the digital space, you can actually take it into consideration that your data is not no more private, it is actually public. It is public. See, for example, like, a few days before, there was an issue in Clubhouse. Many people use Clubhouse. Okay, and there was suddenly a kind of incident happen, and there was an alarming news, like, Clubhouse is taking your data, etc., etc. So then people uninstalled the Clubhouse, and they asked me, like, now I have uninstalled, so will my data, the data which I provided, like my phone number, my email address, and everything, will be deleted? No. Once you have given it to one social networking site provider, definitely that data will be with them permanently. And you're thinking that when you erase your photographs, when you delete your videographs, then you're safe. See, imagine, girls, like, even when you delete your photographs, even when you delete your videographs, like, it will remain permanently in your mobile phone. Anybody can retrieve your data. Now you have seen every road corner you have got data recovery people sitting at corners, and for some amount of money they recover the data. So how do we recover the data? Using lot of recovery softwares. So if you think that I take the photograph, I take the videographs, then I have deleted, so like I'm safe, I will tell you, like, it is not at all possible. Like, if you resell the phone, if you resell the gadget, definitely anybody can actually retrieve your data, or even somebody willfully can take your gadgets and they can retrieve the data. So if you think that I have permanently deleted, please erase it in your mind. Like, it cannot be permanently deleted, it can be retrieved anytime. I have got lot of examples for that. Like, even your contacts, see, once I received a message in my WhatsApp saying that you're looking very beautiful. Like, I know I am beautiful, so why somebody should say that? But being a criminologist, I just want to know who the person is, and I was quite inquisitive to know what had actually happened. So I just developed a conversation with the person, and I did some social engineering. Then I found, then I asked him, like, how did you get my number? So the fellow who was living in one down south city, I know the city where he is. Then he said, like, I took your number from one of the phones which was sold in the phone shop. So this fellow has a standard job of collecting all the sold phones and getting data out of it. Okay, so that was his prime duty. So what had happened is, like, one of my colleague, so the moment he said the place and also the city, then I realized that this should be the person, because I have very few friends and I know that where they are. So, like, then I called the friend who was living in that particular area, and I asked, like, did you sell your phone? She said, like, yeah, I sold my phone and I got an iPhone. Then I asked, like, whether did you erase your all the data, like contacts and everything, and did you resell it? She said, like, I erased everything, I wiped everything, and then I gave. See, even after wiping the data, even after erasing and deleting all the data and giving to a seller, will cause a damage for you. They can retrieve. So, like, I will say that never try to resell your gadgets for an amount of 500 rupees or 1000 rupees when you had some sensitive data in that. You might have used lot of photographs or videographs or some other sensitive data like financial data, or even your contacts are very, very valuable. Like, you should be having around 2000 contacts. Even those 2000 contacts are very, very valuable, and the criminals can misuse the contacts also. So reselling is not at all advisable in the case of digital gadgets. Not only reselling, I can even say, like, please don't even give your phone or your gadget to someone who is not known to you. For example, when you're traveling in a bus, or when you're standing in the bus stop, somebody comes and say that, like, Akka, like, I want to make a call urgently to my family, I missed my phone, or I don't have a charge in my phone, so can you give your phone for a few minutes that I can make a call and give. Girls, I can bring you hackers. I know the world's youngest hackers also. Like, within 20 seconds, if you give your phone to that particular person, within 20 seconds, the persons can hack your mobile phone, or they can inject a spyware. Okay, they can download a spyware in your mobile phone or in your smart gadget, that for lifetime you will be under their control. It just need only 20 seconds for a person to download a spyware in your mobile. And you will be thinking, if at all some spyware or some application is downloaded, I'll be knowing in my mobile phone. We think ourselves as smart, but the criminals are smarter than us. Like, many times these spywares or these malwares will be hidden. Like, we can't even see that the application is actually in the phone or in the gadget. We will be working in such a way that it is not existing, but the criminal can inject a spyware in your mobile phone, and they can take you under control. They can watch your contacts, they can watch your chats, they can gain access to all your personal data, like your phones, photos, videographs. And whenever you change your OTP also, it will be sent to them, and the emails connected whichever you are operating, they can actually access. So everything will be under the control, and you will be at the risk of lot of damages. Okay, so, like, a lot of damages can happen. So, like, never trust anyone and give your gadgets when you do not know. Sometimes, even when you know, you have to be very careful while giving your smart gadgets. So smart gadgets are many times very dangerous. And social networks and media, the second thing is, like, social networks and media. Like, of course, we cannot avoid social media or social networks, but we have to be very careful on what kind of social network we need, and what kind of social media we need to access, and what we are into social networks and what we are into social media. So that is very, very, very important. See, for example, most of the time, what happens, we are into social media, we try to connect to our friends. Okay, so we try to connect to our friends. One of the major crimes that happens in social media is, or the danger whichever is in social media is stranger danger. Okay, stranger danger. So I can say that please don't get connected to any stranger, or please don't share any personal information to anyone unless you know them very well in person. For example, see, you might not even see your teachers now. Because of pandemic, you'll be having online classes. So when somebody asks you, you have to trust and give because they are your teacher. But the same way, you cannot act in the online space also, because somebody is coming and talking to you, because somebody is friendly to you. Never share your personal data, like your whereabouts, the family details, like who are there in your family, and what are they working, and where are they, and especially when they are going out, when you will be alone, and who are accompanying you, or where you are going, your whereabouts, and then your photographs or videographs or any personal data, please never share in the cyberspace unless you know the person so personally, and you know that they are trustworthy. Okay, why I say this, see, every human being has a kind of identity in their life. If you ask about me to my parents, they will give you one identity. To my teachers, if you ask, they will give one identity. My students will give one identity. My friends will give one identity. But now the situation has come to everyone that they have to create a kind of digital identity. So digital identity has become a very important part of everyone's life. So starting from a common man to somebody who is a celebrity or somebody who is very popular in the world, they all try to build a kind of digital identity. Okay, so what is stranger danger? It is uh, in multiple ways. Like one is like totally not known person, so you don't know the person at all, and but you connect to the person through social media. Okay, for example, you keep posting something, like there is something called pickup lines. I think you know about pickup lines, right? In fact, I have done a lot of researches on pickup lines also. The common pickup lines are like when you post something in the social media, or even when you walk on the road. The common pickup lines are, the topmost pickup line is like, I have already seen you somewhere, உங்களை நான் எங்கேயோ பார்த்த மாதிரி இருக்கே. So that will be one common pick line. And you have lot other pick lines like, நீங்க ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்கீங்க, you're looking very beautiful, your writings are so good. So you have got lot of pickup lines. Time to time it keeps changing, so like never fall a prey for such pickup lines. Okay, see, we are beautiful on our own, we know that who we are. So like it doesn't need that somebody should acknowledge. Of course, if somebody acknowledges, we have the own way to respond, okay, thank you. But beyond that, if you want to convert the conversation, you have to be very careful. So one is like totally not known stranger, but getting acquainted through social media. So you have to think twice or thrice to share any personal data without knowing their personal platform and their characters and their whereabouts. Never share any such things. And the second thing is, already partially known people getting into social media and trying to acquaintance with you. Okay, see, for example, you could have seen somebody on the road for years, because like you reside in the same street. When you walk on the road, you will keep seeing a person often. So the person will start smiling, then they will try to create a kind of conversation. Then they come to social media, and when they come to social media, they try to initiate a conversation with you. Okay, so a partial stranger getting into social media and trying to connect with you. So even that is also not advisable. When even when they are partially known. See, sometimes what happens, lot of examples I have. See, a person, a colleague who is working with you, in some place or studying with you, may try to initiate a conversation through social media and try to get closer to you and try to develop a kind of relationship with you, that you can trust the person and share everything. So it is again very dangerous that you share that personal data. Okay, and third thing is totally known to your people. known to you. So even to known people also, sharing certain personal data through social media is not advisable. So I can say, like, see, everybody has a different identity, and never believe the digital identity of a person. See, for example, there is a celebrity, okay, so the celebrity keeps posting in the social media page, like, they are sweeping the road, they are doing this, they are donating food, they are doing this. So the person portrays to be so good and so comfortable that you feel that, oh, such a kind of person. Okay, so never believe the digital identity. The digital identity cannot be the final identity of the person. And once you believe the digital identity and try to develop a kind of contacts or relationship with them, and you'll be landing them with lot of troubles. So unless you know anybody specifically, please do not share any data in the social media or social network, including your personal data, your availability time, availability of being free without your parents or anyone. Please never try to share anything. Okay. And online gaming portals, like online gaming portals are more vulnerable for strangers to get included. There have been lot of cases where the strangers have acquainted through online gaming portals, and they have victimized girls. Okay, they have victimized girls and children are also getting victimized in alarming way in the cyberspace. See, for example, we call them as online predators. Okay, who are online predators? Those people who traffic women, who traffic women and children, and for various purposes. Okay, for various purposes. Now they have actually moved. See, originally we call them as traffickers. Okay, so the traffickers who used to traffic women and children, procure them, sell them for various purposes, have now moved on to the online space, and we call them as online predators. Okay, so what they do, they keep monitoring those women, those children who are alone at home, who need some emotional support. See, what do? We actually publicize our emotions, right? Which is very dangerous. We need to share our emotions to our own parents. See, your parents may be scolding you for some reason. If at all, when you share some emotion, or when you share some problem, they should scold you. They may actually even yell at you, but doesn't mean that they will do any harm. Okay, so they have some kind of affection and care on you, and because of that they shout at you for a time. But when there is a problem for you, they are the first people and the last people who will really stand with you without any expectation. Okay, so like, if there is any problem for you, like, it is better to share with your parents or with your siblings or to very closer kinds of friends who can I try to address your problems and help you. But when we share your emotions in the social media, for example, like, Mark has given a lot of emotions, right? Feeling very sad, feeling very lonely, feeling very missing, feeling happy. So we actually say all the emotions in the social media. Okay, so these emotions are not to be publicized. These emotions are not meant for public. These emotions are meant for you and for your known ones. Okay, so when you publicize your emotions, what happens? These criminals or online predators, they take a clue out of it. They have a kind of data mining. They take a clue out of it, and they understand that this particular girl needs emotional support, this particular girl is in trouble, so we can mess up with the girl. Okay, so what they try to do, they try to befriend you. They try to be so good with you that they are supplementing their emotions and your emotions, and they try to make you comfort. And after you gain a trust with them and you share all your emotions, then they actually reveal their reality, and they behave like a typical online predator who can traffic you and who can put into various kinds of activities. I'll just show some of the activities which actually they can try to do, which is very harmful. So online gaming portals or social networks or social media, never please try to enter into a stranger's domain and try to converse with them or try to share any of your personal data. And similarly, like sexting is one of the very common mistake which many people does, like, not only youngsters but even senior citizens, women or men, they don't actually bother to enter into the act called sexting. So like, sexting is not at all good. Why? See, you may be sharing some photographs or videographs with your husband or with your would be or with your boyfriend, and you will be thinking that they are not going to do anything. Of course, they may be so good and they may not be doing anything with that photographs or videographs or personal conversation, but you should understand you're in a cyberspace where this data can be stolen by a middleman or a spyware which is sitting in your computer even without your knowledge. So not necessarily the person sitting at the other end should be doing or messing up with your data, but in the cyberspace anybody can mess with your data and you're at risk. So if you think that I am actually sending this data to someone who is so secure, then I'm telling you, like, it is not at all safe. See, I will tell you one case. The first very case in cybercrime which was reported after the IT Act came in enactment in India is that Basi.com case. So, okay, in that Basi.com case, what had happened is they were in 10th standard and they fall in love for each other. Nothing wrong in that. That is actually their age. So they fell in love with each other. So what happened? Like they were conversing. Those times you didn't have the smartphones and everything. They had a normal phone where they can take a kind of picture or whatever be. So like they took the pictures, and this boy, what happened, like he showed those pictures to one of his hostel mate, thinking that he is a friend. He said like, see, this girl is in love with me, I'm so happy, we are so happy. But the other person who saw was such a jealousy person, and he collected all these photographs and videographs when this fellow went for a bath, and he published one of this photograph in one website called Basi.com, which is a kind of auction website. So he published the photograph, and he said that this is for auction. So like see, the person who is handling the photograph is good, but the in between person is not so sexting is actually very, very dangerous. Please never try to indulge in sexting, or please be safe in social networking sites and the social media sites. And also, like, gaming portals, never get involved in strangers are so dangerous. Like these are the various types of crimes that can happen in cyberspace for you. One is stranger danger, then online predators threat, cyber pornography is very alarming, and trafficking, and the chat room. In chat room, you have got a lot of crimes. The best example is your Pollachi case. Then cyber bullying and cyber stalking, cyber harassment, cyber rape, cyber defamation, cyber terrorism. You can be a victim of drug mules or money mules, which I will explain later if I get an opportunity for you. So you can be a victim of money mules or drug mules. You can be a victim of illegal business. You can be a victim of illegal contact, or you can be a victim of financial frauds. So you've got a lot of things that are happening in the cyberspace. And when you are trafficked, when somebody is trafficked, what will happen? They may be used for sexual exploitation. They may be used for bonded labor. They may be used for organ trafficking. They may be used for narcotics trafficking, and they may be a victim of drug mules and money mules. So when somebody is sexually exploited, what will happen? Traffickers will force you to share your photographs semi nude or nude. I have seen in the pandemic itself, a lot of children were actually victimized, and they will make the victims to perform sexual acts to the web camera, and they will simulate sex violence like cigarette burning, pinching, beating, etc. They can even simulate real time sex with you, and then they can create rape videos, simulating rape videos with a trafficker, with the victim, and they can do anything with the victim. So it is better that we are so cautious, especially when we are using this dub smash and musically application, where we keep posting, and there are the places where these online predators sit, and they watch who are the potential victims. See, one of the case I saw, like she committed suicide because, like, she kept posting something in the TikTok platform, and there was a call saying that see, your posts are very good, you're acting
I'm
so good,
sorry to
so we would like to.
interrupt.
Yeah. Oh, two
Ma'am, the
minute, ma'am.
next speaker
Yeah.
is waiting. Yes, ma'am. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you
So
for
like
understanding.
uh, uh, yeah. So like what happened, that particular fellow said, see, we are working in a popular channel for a popular particular serial. So like we would like to have you for that particular serial. So can you come to the place? So this girl went to the place, and after she went to the place, she was molested, and she could not bear the pain, and she committed suicide. So lot of cases, when you get lured by the offenders, and it is better that we have to be very careful. Even domestic violence and other digital abuses have now moved on to the cyberspace. So what you should do after all these happenings? Okay, if something happened to anyone known to you, your friend or your family members, or sometimes even to us, so what we have to do is, first thing is, support the victim and be with the victim. Like try to help them to report. When we don't report the crime, the possibility of the criminals being happy in the social media is very high. Okay, be it economic frauds, be it something which is against a person, or whatever be the types of harassment, it is better to report. And when somebody is report, never try to bully them. Okay, never try to bully them, that the reason maybe you, or it is because of you that somebody has done this. So never try to bully them. See, all of us are actually naive in social media and naive in cyberspace, so anybody can commit a mistake. So because of some mistake we cannot actually bully the person. So like, never try to bully the person. Instead, stand with the victim and try to help them to report, and stand with them until the case is completed, and also try to give them the emotional support whichever is needed for them, that they can come out of this incident and have a real life. So that will be the best idea. And if you hesitate to report, like see, like you may think that where I can go and report. You have got lot of cyber crime cells, or you can even report in the nearest police station, or you can even report online nowadays. You can also report online nowadays. So like, you can report it anywhere. If you feel that reporting on your own is a kind of threat and you cannot do, you can also involve some NGOs. Lot of NGOs are working, and people like us are working for that. And you can definitely approach us. And if any incident such happens, please tell the parents, and at least share to your teachers. Your teachers are definitely to help for you. They are your second parents. So when you hesitate to share something with your parents, you can at least share to the teachers. So the parents and teachers can stand with you, and people like us will stand with such victims. So definitely do not hesitate. No problem will be faced because of reporting. And also like, the media and the police also has a major role to protect the victim also. So like, as everyone thinks like it will be publicized, people will be knowing about that. No, the first thing is like, only when you report, these crimes will come down, and you will be safer in the internet. Okay, so like, girls, like definitely you have to use your social media, you have to use your cyberspace. We have a lot of crimes to discuss. Maybe in the future classes I will do, but please have safe surfing. And do something which is only essential for you, which is essential for your education, which is essential for your growth, and which is essential for your passion. So only try to do that. If you use the social media and your gadgets in a productive way, definitely we can minimize such kinds of crimes, and we can be free of crimes, and we will have lot of mental peace. So thank you for this opportunity, and all the very best for all of you. Have a great academic academic tenure. And I'm wishing everyone to come in colors in your studies. Thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening our young students on the perils of cyberspace and how to protect themselves from it, and subtly underlining whom they should trust. Thank you so much, Lata, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next session is on women's health, and I take immense pleasure in welcoming and introducing one of the most famous gynecologists in Chennai, Dr. Mala Raj, Managing Director of Firm Hospitals. She is a specialist in laparoscopic surgery and infertility treatment. Ma'am graduated from Kilpak Medical College and acquired her postgraduate diploma from Sri Ramachandra Medical College. She has always kept herself abreast with the developments in her field by pursuing diplomas from different world universities like advanced laparoscopic surgery, reproductive medicine, laparoscopic gynecologic surgery, and the latest in the field, aesthetic gynecology. Despite her busy practice schedule, she has been instrumental in organizing more than 10 conferences, workshops, and about 30 webinars. She has also been the operating faculty in about 20 workshops. She has also been part of many national and international conferences and workshops, and played various roles as invited speaker, chairperson, moderator, analyst, and she has also published about 9 books in the field of gynecology and laparoscopy. She has given multiple interviews in media and on social networking sites, creating awareness on women's health. She has conducted many screening and uh, education camps in colleges and schools, and conducted many public forums also. Her inclination towards service has made her the first lady of Rotary Club of Sun City, Chennai. In honor of her passion and determination to improve the status of women's health and its care, she has established several organizations and foundations to promote women's health and promote the equality of gender.
Yeah, thank you so much, madam. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Uh, can you see my screen?
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Just a moment, please. Just 2 minutes. I think I'm on. Not this one. No, not share screen. Must be video only. Then. But again, only this is coming, right? Can you see it?
No, ma'am.
You can you see my video?
Your screen is visible, ma'am, but video, your presentation is not seen, ma'am.
Oh, so we have to click share screen only, no, not video.
Yes, ma'am. If it has a video, please click on share video.
No, no, share screen only.
It's a PPT.
It's
If
a
it's a
PPT.
PPT,
Yeah,
just share screen, ma'am.
yeah, share screen. Which one?
If it's a PPT, share screen, ma'am.
Are you able to see it now? It's loading, ma'am. No, ma'am, it does not come. It will be behind this. You're able to see now? Ma'am, if you click share screen, then a window. If you have kept it as a separate, the PPT as a separate window. Hmm? Click this. Click that one. Click this one. Okay. My this one, right? Click that. Hmm. Are you able to see it now? Okay. Sorry for the interruption. We'll have the next speaker in a few minutes.
The Secret of Getting Ahead is Getting Started by Mark Twain. Pleasant morning. I'm Raj Lakshmi, Assistant Professor from the Department of Commerce Self Supporting and also Faculty Coordinator of ESEL. To ignite the spirit of entrepreneurship, to come out with innovative ideas, and to showcase your potential, I welcome you all to Entrepreneurship Cell of Ethiraj College for Women. E-Squire is the name of E-Cell of Ethiraj College, aims at nurturing the students and molds them into bright business minds by offering workshops, speaker sessions, and healthy competitions. The objectives of ESEL are to develop institutional mechanism, to create entrepreneurial culture, and to foster entrepreneurship for generation of wealth and the employment for the students. To inculcate the culture of innovation-driven entrepreneurship, which is a need of the hour, and also to catalyze and promote the development of enterprises and to promote employment opportunities in the innovative Thinking Ahead is Getting Started by Mark Twain. Pleasant morning. I'm Raj Lakshmi, Assistant Professor from the Department of Commerce Self-Supporting and also Faculty Coordinator of ESELF. To ignite the spirit of entrepreneurship and to come out with innovative ideas and to showcase your potential, I welcome you all to Entrepreneurship Cell of Ethiraj College for Women. Sorry for the technical glitch. Yes. East Corner is the name of Egmore is the name of ESEL of Ethiraj College, aims at nurturing the students and molds them into bright business minds by offering workshops, speaker sessions, and healthy competitions. The objectives of ESEL are to develop institutional mechanism, to create entrepreneurial culture, to foster the entrepreneurship for generation of wealth and empowerment for the students, to inculcate a culture of innovation-driven entrepreneurship, which is the need of the hour, and also to capitalize and promote developmental activities of the enterprises and to promote employment opportunities in the innovative areas. This is the logo of ESEL, which goes by a name, E-Square. The entrepreneur should always think out of the box, which goes with our tagline, thinking out of the box. ESEL was started in the year 2007-8, with the college becoming a member of National Entrepreneurship Network, that is NET. The major initiatives of ESEL are the Articles of Agreement was made on 3rd of June 2019 between ESEL and National Center for Vocational and Technical Education, that is NCVT, and the National Entrepreneurship Network, that is NET. The agreement establishes the framework for developing entrepreneurial capabilities and promoting employment opportunities in the innovative areas. Further, ESEL organizes enriching workshops, thought provoking speaker sessions, and field visits, which will inculcate the feeling of entrepreneurship among students. The skill development courses, which is done on campus, are which is started from the year August 2007. Trained and experienced professionals from the various facets will handle the course. Interested students belonging to the various disciplines throughout the college can take part in it, and a reasonable fees for the course will be collected. The few of the courses which we offer are liquid embroidery, tie and dye, RE work, canvas painting, and jewelry making. The other skill development courses where the students get the certification from the Ministry of Human Resource and Development are Tally, beautician course, web designing, fashion designing, baking, communication skills, logistics and supply chain management, and many more. 1,000 plus students are the beneficiaries from the above courses. Campus companies are the pride of entrepreneurship cell of Ethiraj College. We have three campus companies. One is being the 5 degrees, an oven cum confectionery outlet, Inaugurated during the year 2013 to 14, it is handled by the students and is run by them successfully under the guidance of faculty coordinators. Softy is an in-house outlet offering varieties of ice creams and cones. Altitude is a campus printing and designing unit where the students design certificates, invitations, and greeting cards for the departmental activities in the college. A glimpse on alumni entrepreneurs. These are the few startups of our alumni entrepreneurs who have scaled up in their ventures. We also come up with a directory of startups at the end of each year, which again motivates the students. The faculty coordinators of ESL are Dr. Annapurni M., Associate Professor from the Department of Commerce Aided, and myself, Rajlakshmi M., Assistant Professor from the Department of Commerce Self-Supporting. And you can also contact the student coordinators, Aishwarya, E-Leader Aided from Commerce Department, and Sonali, E-Leader SS from Commerce Department. How to join? You can join ESL by filling in the form in the Google details, a link of which will be sent to you a little later, post which you will have to pay a nominal fees of rupees 100 to become the ESL member. Students who enroll in ESL will get additional 1 credit, and for any queries, you can contact eselethiraj@gmail.com. We shall now have an audio-visual presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rajalakshmi. Now we continue with the presentation by Dr. Mala Raj. And thank you, ma'am, for patiently waiting.
Yeah. In fact, apologize. Sorry about the technical hitches. I think there are some issues. I'm not very clear what went wrong. But anyway, can you please share my presentation? So, good
Yes.
morning, everybody. At the outset, I would like to thank Ethiraj College for this opportunity to address these really young students who are the future of our country. So, can I have my presentation, please? Yes. So good health for young adults, this is very very important because you are as young adults now you are entering into a very very major phase of life wherein you are really going to build up your careers based on all that you acquire during this 3 years of your course in your this college. So now that you have entered into a very nice institution, it is also very important that you take care of your health so that you are able to build up very well only when you have a strong health. So going ahead with my presentation, can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so we all know that adolescent, we categorize them into three different stages. Of course, now you are in the late adolescent phase. That is why we call you all as young adults, because this is the age when all the body transformation is almost over physically, and you are getting into the next phase of the development, that is the being the young adult, wherein your body is getting prepared for various activities. So next slide, please. So in this presentation, I would like to try to cover on the importance of nutrition, the exercise, and you need to really know your body and about how to make sure that you know the hemoglobin of your body is well maintained, and about the hygiene, and little bit on how to incorporate little spirituality, which also is very major factor, and how to protect yourself from all these dreaded diseases, and on the vaccines that one needs to take, and of course sexual abuse and other some suicidal tendencies which also can occur because of the emotional disturbances, how to avoid them. We will just try to cover up in the next 30 minutes. Next slide, please. Of course, good nutrition plays a very, very major role for you all, because now is the developmental phase. So you have to start eating right and healthy, because if you have to have a healthy mind, you need to have a healthy body. So make sure that you eat a diet which is having all the nutrition. So we are in the era where people are into all these fad diets, they kind of starve the entire 24 hours and then take some kind of a meal. All those things fads are, they are all real fad diets which are not going to do any good to you, in the hope that they are going to lose weight. But ultimately you should understand that all these fad diets are only going to do more damage to your system, and at the end it cannot be sustained. So any diet which is sustainable is what is going to be good for you. So make sure that you have all the three meals properly, especially the breakfast should not be skipped. So the moment you wake up, within 2 hours of time you should have a breakfast. So just make sure that you have your breakfast and then go to college. Now that we are in online activities, and so it is always better that you ensure that you pay more attention, because many a times you tend to miss your breakfast and then just sit or get logged on to the computer. So all these challenges are also there now, so you have to ensure that all those things are taken care. Next slide, please. So can we move to the next slide, please? Okay, so make sure that you take quite a lot of milk and milk related products, the green leafy vegetables, and avoid the junks. That is, all the fast food should be avoided, because more so because these are the things which are mainly responsible for the lots of other health related issues like polycystic ovarian disease. In polycystic ovarian disease, what exactly is happening is that you have quite a lot of male hormones which are mainly related to the diet. So all these fast food, they have quite a lot of the androgens, that is the male hormone, which is not good for your system, and as a result what happens is they cause quite a lot of derangement in your body. They result in insulin resistance, and you end up developing polycystic ovarian disease. So of late we see more and more young girls and young adults having these polycystic ovarian disease, which was not there in the earlier days. This is mainly a lifestyle disease because of the faulty eating habits and absolutely no exercise. So this polycystic ovaries, this is the right time to correct it, so that in future you will not have any issues because of this PCOS, because your cycles tend to get irregular, and it will cause quite a lot of emotional disturbances and also physical changes, which can also lead to a delay in conception, or sometimes in fact conceiving itself becomes an issue when you are not taking a good care of these conditions. Next slide, please. So the diet, as I mentioned, is a very major factor, because obesity is a major issue. So we have to ensure that our diet maybe have a calorie intake of about only 1200 2500 if your normal body mass. But if you are slightly obese, you need to ensure that you cut down on the carbohydrates and make sure that you take the adequate diet and maintain the calories, so that your body mass index is well maintained. Next slide, please. Can we move to the next slide? Of course, exercise plays a very major role. In fact, we say that it is always better to involve yourself in some kind of a sports. So that is the best form to exercise, because sometimes when we have to only do an exercise, it gets a little bit monotonous. But if you incorporate some kind of a sports activity, you tend to burn quite a lot of calories there. So that helps you to, in fact, keep your system under control and make sure your hormones are all working well. So any kind of a sports which you are inclined to can be taken up, so that you can incorporate that as a routine into your day-to-day activities. Next slide, please. So and wherever there is an opportunity, make sure that you try to walk. So if you are, if you feel that you are not having much of a time to exercise, maybe you just try to walk up to the bus stop, or you can get down a little, on stop, earlier. So these are the ways how we can, incorporate exercise into our daily routine, and also try to use the staircase rather than the lift. So these are the few exercises which you can really do, which will keep your also body active. Next slide, please. So of course I have mentioned all these things. So what are the things we need to do, and what are the things we have to avoid? Next slide. So ultimately, we also should understand that about our body. Of course, now that you have all attained the age of menarche, you have crossed the puberty, and then but many a times we also notice that there are children who, even by the age of 15 or 17, they are now not attaining menarche, that is, though it is less than 1%. So if any of you do not have not attained a puberty by this time, then it is something to be of concern. Then you have to meet the gynecologist and find out what exactly is wrong, because by 15 years to 17 years, all the developmental changes and the menarche should have been attained. So if it is not happening, we have to see whether there is a problem in the uterus, ovaries, or in the brain. So in such a scenario, if you that because many a times we see young girls who even at this age do not attain puberty. So in such a scenario, sometimes they may have even an absent uterus, or sometimes the birth passage itself will be completely blocked, which is not allowing the menstrual fluid to come out. So these are the few conditions which we keep in mind when there is a very delay in puberty. So if any of you have something like that, you have to really immediately report it to your gynecologist, and they would evaluate and find out what exactly is wrong and offer you the necessary advice and help. Next slide, please. So basically, one needs to understand the body based on this simple graph. In fact, we see like there are actually two phases in our menstrual cycle. The first half of the phase is what the inside lining of the uterus is actually developing. So that kind of causes the rise in the hormones. And then you have the mixed cycles wherein, so in the initial stages, you see that the eggs are all growing. And then at the mid cycle is what we call it as ovulation. So now you are in a stage like some of you all can also get married also, but then so if you are planning for conception, this is the time for staying together. But if you are not planning for conception, you have to avoid this period, which is a ovulation. So many a times people tend to miss this ovulation, and they may have into problems, and sometimes they can also have unwanted pregnancy. So once the eggs are released, then the next phase of the cycle comes, wherein the inside lining of the uterus starts building up, and then finally they kind of shed. The shedding of the endometrium, that is the inner lining of the uterus, is what we call as menstruation. And with that, again, the entire cycle comes back. So in fact, for all these to work well, we need to have a brain, which is called the band master. So that is the one which gives the signals. All these signals are received from the brain. So the brain keeps secreting the signals, which are based on that the uterus works and reacts. So if there is any disharmony in the signal from the brain, that is when you do not get periods properly. So many a time the children say that they are not getting periods. They get periods once in 3 months or 4 months, or sometimes they get within 20 days, 25 days. Both the ends of the spectrum are of concern, because it totally indicates there's some kind of issue with either with the signals from the brain, or sometimes inside the uterus. So based on what exactly is the hormone which is troubling, we do the hormonal profile, and then we treat them accordingly. So if the cycles are getting to delayed beyond say 40 days, or if it is coming within 20 days, then we need to really check and evaluate it. Next slide, please. So the pubertal changes, I'm sure all of you have must have achieved all of these changes which you have gone through. Next slide, please. So again, many a times the children keep complaining of severe pain during the periods and also prior to the periods. So what you need to understand is this amount of pain that which we call as dysmenorrhea is pretty normal during menstruation. But only thing is, if it is going to interfere with your activities, like in fact in your age, if it is preventing you from coming to college or in your sports activity, then it is a concern. We have to find out why exactly it is causing so much of pain, because generally the periods pain will be there for everyone on the day one, and then mostly by the day two it disappears. This is mainly because of the vascularity of the uterus, which is happening at the time of menstruation. But beyond this, if it is really excruciating, and if it is preventing you from your regular work, then it means that there is some kind of a pathology or some problem. So it could be either endometriosis, or it could be some kind of a cyst which is causing those problems. So in such a scenario, we have to do an ultrasound and find out whether there is any of these endometriosis or some kind of a pelvic infection. And if you treat them accordingly, then your problem will get rectified. So these are the problems, and sometimes you feel that your periods are slightly heavy. So normal flow is generally for 3 days, but if the flow is more than say 5 days, and you are changing more than 6 7 napkins in a day, that indicates that the flow is very heavy. So again, then we need to check what is the reason why you are having this heavy flow. So the heavy flow could be because some kind of a problem in the uterus, like it could be because of some fibroid, or it could be some kind of an ovarian cyst, or it could be because of some kind of an infections. So if we need to evaluate and find out what is the reason that you are having heavy flow, and we will treat them accordingly. The major issues with heavy flow is that the child becomes very anemic, because you will have become very lethargic, and you find that you are not able to do your routine activities. So that is the reason why we need to take care of this heavy flow immediately, so that it does not compromise on your quality of work and life. Next slide, please. So this is what is called the androgenic features, meaning many a times you see that you have unwanted hairs, and also pimples occurring on your face, the neck, and also you are losing hair in the front of your face, that is on the frontal baldness is what we call. These are something like a male kind of a feature which occurs in a woman. So this is mainly because of the polycystic ovarian disease or polycystic ovarian syndrome, which we call as PCOS. So colloquially it is known as neat cutty, but many a times it is a misdiagnosis also. So not at all women who have these kind of features are polycystic. There are other conditions also which could present like this. So if you go to the gynecologist, they will find out what exactly is the reason, whether it is PCOS or it is some other androgenic problem, and you have to get treated accordingly. So the most important thing is that this is quite common only in this age group, and it develops into other issues in the later phase of their life, like infertility. And even if a woman gets pregnant later, like when you're planning for a conception, maybe after 4 or 5 years, again this kind of a problem, if not treated at this particular age, can lead to problems like miscarriage if she gets pregnant. Sometimes pregnancy itself may be an issue, that is infertility is a major factor. And if they get pregnant, and again there are lots of other complications during pregnancy also, like they have a tendency to develop diabetes, gestational diabetes, and also hypertension. And most of the time, sometimes after this delivery, they tend to come back to normalcy, because the hormones are all falling in place. But provided you make sure that you take care of your lifestyle by maintaining a good healthy diet and exercise. So not only this, you should also understand that PCOS has long-term implications. You should not take PCOS very, very lightly, because these PCOS women can also have a tendency to develop in the future diabetes mellitus, hypertension, cardiac problems, and also even a cancer of the inside lining of the uterus have also been attributed through PCOS. So PCOS is a very, very common condition with all these young adults are facing, and it is the right time to ensure that you take charge of your diet and exercise, because this is purely a lifestyle disease which has been not maintained very well. So if you take care of your diet and if you exercise, this it can be easily overcome. Apart from that, we also ensure that we give you some hormones to get these male hormones down in the form of a contraceptive pills, but they are not meant for contraception, but they are like that. We give them pills for 21 days so that they get this androgen hormones level so that down, so that your estrogen and the progesterone, they come back to normal level. So in that way your PCOS is get corrected. So many a times when a girl comes to a doctor, gynecologist, when we put them on these kind of a pills, their mother is really anxious as to why exactly she needs to take a pill. But you need to understand that if you take this pill for some time, you can prevent them the long-term complications associated with this particular condition. And so many a times a child has to be on this for at least 6 months or 1 year. But in this time frame, if they take charge of their diet and exercise, then they get back to normalcy. Next slide, please. So anemia. So this is the most common the condition which we encounter in this age group. This is mainly because of the excess, the bleeding which occurs during this condition. So many a times the reason for anemia can also because of PCOS, which you saw earlier. Because again here, because of the hormonal derangement, there will be quite a lot of blood loss, and the child and the women can become very anemic. So we have to check the hemoglobin at least yearly once to ensure that your anemia hemoglobin is maintained, and anemia is also taken care by following a good diet and also taking iron rich iron tablets, so that you do not lose more blood during menstruation. And if there is a heavy flow, we also try to find out the underlying cause and treat them accordingly. So any women with a hemoglobin of less than 12 grams need to be evaluated for the reason for anemia, and sometimes even deworming can also be done, so that the anemic status is getting corrected along with the hematinics, which we provide as oral tablets. Next slide, please. So the main factors of course, anemia, they present mainly as tiredness, lethargy, and loss of hair and irritability. Next slide, please. So dietary habits is again very important. So I have covered all of this. Sometimes you can also see there is a stool changing in color, not only because of the iron tablets which you are consuming. Sometimes if you are bleeding in the in the intestine also, it can it change color. So if there is any change in color, then obviously in your stools, even with before taking the iron tablets, then it needs to be looked into. Next slide, please. So of course, iron-rich foods. Generally, we say that decorate your plate with colorful vegetables, so that you get all the necessary nutrition and more so the iron source. These mainly these fruits and vegetables. Anything that is green in color gives lots of iron. Next slide, please. Now again, now hygiene plays a very major role, because hygiene, if it is not taken care of properly, can lead to a lot of issues in future. So more so during the menstrual phase, you have to ensure that you are changing your pads properly. Don't keep the pads, suppose even towards the end of your menstrual cycle, if the flow is little less, don't keep the pad all through the day and change only in the night because there is no bleeding. Change the pad at least twice or thrice a day, which is very important. And if the bleeding is heavy, more often, so that you do not get any kind of an infection. See, basically, if you see, the vagina has got a very beautiful and very healthy bacteria. So what happens is, like, if the hygiene is not taken care, so some girls, they also have this habit of douching. So they, like, they think that they have to be very over hygienic and kind of try to clean the vagina. So never manipulate your vagina by yourself for any reason. So we are in the era where we have these menstrual cups. So, but then the menstrual cups, what I would like to suggest is that if you trying to use a menstrual cup, always you have to ensure that you have to give your hygiene topmost priority, because you are inserting something like a foreign body inside the vagina, because the vagina, as I mentioned, has got a very nice bacteria flora which can tend to get disturbed when you put anything inside. Similarly to the tampons also. So this bacteria, when they gets washed off, the pH of the vagina gets altered, and as a result, once the pH moves towards the alkaline side, you see that lots of organism from the outside will enter inside the vagina, and they will prevent the protective mechanism of the vagina from this bacteria, and as a result, you will tend to develop infections. So try to avoid tampons as much as possible. And if you are using a menstrual hygiene, you have to take utmost care to ensure that the hygiene is well maintained. And of course, the sanitary napkins have to be changed quite often. And also you can use all these genital washes, like for hygiene washes, which can be used to also maintain the hygiene. But ensure that these hygiene washes are not used inside the vagina. They are all meant from only to be used outside the vagina, that is in the genitalia. And also the mode of using these are always from front to back, and not from back to front. So in that way, you will prevent any kind of a contamination. So this is all the few things that we need to take care of. And again, the emotional changes are also happening, which we need to address, because during the menstrual cycle there will be lots of hormonal disturbances which may make you feel a little low. So we need to understand that these are a part of our physiological changes which is happening, and nothing alarming. So just take it easy and keep yourself very, very occupied or busy during that phase, that you will be able to go through that phase, I mean 3-4 days very comfortably, and it should not be a hindrance to your studies or your work. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, it is a natural phenomena. Next slide, please. So, of course, smoking and drinking, we are seeing more and more children getting involved in all these things, and that in very early age, not knowing the implications. So now it has become like a social thing. Like even the young girls are also getting into this, which is really saddening. But make sure that you don't get into any of these things, because it is not going to do any good to you, and also it will prevent your progress, and also ruin your health for the future, because it also affects your uterus, the ovaries in many ways. So make sure that you get away from all of these smoking, drinking, and drugs. Next slide, please. Of course, to maintain all this, maintain a balance in life, and you make sure that you take care of your education, and at the same time also keep your balance with that extracurricular activities, be it the sports or the arts or any kind of an extracurricular activity. It is always better to get into a little bit of spirituality, so that you will know it will make you sane, and you're also able to sail through this without much of an issue. Next slide, please. So it will also help you to give a balanced mind, so that you are able to take the right decision at the right time. So spirituality does help. So that is the reason why we ask them to incorporate a little bit of yoga and meditations into their routine life, so that it gives you some kind of a balance. Next slide, please. Now, vaccination, of course, young girls, it is very important to know that there are two important vaccines what one need to take care at this point of life. One will be the rubella infection. See, many a times as a child, you all would have been vaccinated with MMR and all that, but this which also has this rubella vaccine. But then adolescent girls, we advise them to take the rubella vaccine now, because if this infection occurs during pregnancy, it will hamper the development of the baby. So better to rather than taking the vaccine after getting married, it is better to take the vaccine now itself, so that in future it will not harm you when you get pregnant, because we need to think about many terms right now. And another important vaccine which is very important is the vaccine which can take care of the cervical cancer. So we have two brands, the Gardasil and Soberix. Both are equally good, but then these vaccines are again very, very important. See, basically what we need to understand is that this cervical cancer, all that occurs only because of our lifestyle, okay? So it is nothing like, her cervical cancer is hereditary and all that. We cannot blame our genes. It is only because of a virus called the human papilloma virus, and how this virus exactly enters into our body is only because of the sexual contact. So the earlier the child get exposed to the sexual activities, that is the time this virus will enter, because these virus will attack the immature cells. So the early sexual activities, the cervix, the cells inside the mouth of the uterus are quite immature, and these are the cells which are being targeted by this human papilloma virus, and they will go and cause so much of changes in those cells, and they remain inside the cells dormant. In fact, no one will know that they have the virus. Even the child, the girl will not know that the child, she is having that virus. So only in the later stages, like say about to 15 years or 20 years, it will present itself when it causes all the damage. So this age, we are targeting our young girls to take this vaccine. The most important thing is the earlier you take the vaccine, the better it is. So that is why if the mothers are bringing the child to us as early as they attain menarche, that is between 12 years or 11 years, that is the time they have 100% protection, because because the earlier you give these vaccine, the better the immunity. So the later when the human papilloma virus enters our body, this immunity will fight against that virus and destroy and send it out of our system. So if you give the vaccine little early, say in the adolescent phase, you need to take only 2 doses at 6 months interval. But if you take a little later, then you have to take at least 3 doses, wherein you take the first dose and the second dose is after 2 months and the third dose is after 4 months. So you have to ensure that you complete all the 3 doses. So this cervical cancer vaccine is really very, very important for all our young girls. It's just that not many people are aware of it, so that is the problem. But it has been there for many years. So whoever, whichever young girl or young adult is coming to us, we make sure that we create a little bit of awareness about this vaccine and ask them to get vaccinated. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are few abnormalities which can happen if you do not take the rubella vaccine. So the rubella vaccine, if not taken, can produce all these kind of deformities in the child. So if you take this vaccine, then you will not have this infection, and during pregnancy you will not have any kind of an issues like this. So it's better to take at this age when you don't have to worry about anything else. Next slide, please. So many a times we also see these kind of abnormal cleft lip and all those things. So these are again mainly because of the rubella vaccines, and they also produce heart deformity. So to avoid these, we ask them to take the rubella vaccine. Next slide, please. So cancer vaccine is what I mentioned now, the human papilloma virus. To attack the human papilloma virus and destroy it, you have to take the cervical cancer vaccine. Because the incidence of cervical cancer is really alarming in India. If you see 27% death in the death in the entire world is mainly because of the cancer, and the statistics are really alarming. Next slide, please. So this is what I mentioned. Next slide, please. The vaccine, how to give it. Next slide, please. Yeah. So the vaccine can be given to prevent this human papilloma virus. As you can see, initially the infection will not produce any kind of a symptom. So the child will not know that she has got the infection because it keeps remain very dormant, be very quiet. So later they will start developing some kind of a vaginal discharge, irritation, especially in girls who have sexual contact. More common in women who have early sexual contact and who have multiple partners. So make sure that you do not involve in any kind of a sexual activity prior to marriage, and always ensure monogamous relationship. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So with this we come to the end of the presentation. So of course this is a very beautiful period in the life. You will be really enjoying with your friends and also developing new friends, and also that's the time when you're also building up your career and laying a foundation as to what you want to be in the future. But make sure that while you are doing that, you also take care of your health, so that it does not come in the way for all your aspirations and your dreams. So wish you all the best for your bright future, and wish you all to come out in flying colors. So thank you so much for your time, and also I would like to thank Ethiraj College for the opportunity, and sorry about the little bit of technical hitches which I had from my end.
Thank you, ma'am, for sparing your valuable time to tell our students what they should do from basic hygiene to vaccination process. You have highlighted on various facets of women's health, and also told us how holistic well-being is very important and how to maintain it. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm sure our students would benefit from this and follow your inputs also. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, madam. Yeah, bye.
Next, we have presentations from various clubs and cells from Ethiraj College. I'm sure you will benefit by hearing out all these. Thank you.
A very good morning to all the freshers. On behalf of the Enactors Club of Ethiraj College, we welcome all you beautiful lives. I, Dr. Olive David, and Dr. Ramya Ravi are the faculty in charges of the Enactors Club. We both of us belong to the Department of Corporate Secretaryship. We would like to proudly present you about the Enactors Club, which had its beginning in the year 2006. The word enactors can be divided into three parts: en, act, us. N stands for entrepreneurial, having the perspective to see an opportunity and the talent to create value from that opportunity. Act, action, the willingness to do something and the commitment to see it through even when the outcome is not guaranteed. Us, a group of people who see themselves connected in some important way, individuals that are a part of a greater world. Enactus is a global non-profit organization which aims to bring a change in the society with a vision to create a better and a more sustainable world. It is a student-run organization where students from teams on the campuses to create and implement community projects that empower people to improve the quality of life and standard of living. The main motto of Enactus is to create young entrepreneurial leaders and social innovators. The major action of Enactus is to create and choose a community and work towards its betterment. An annual series of regional and national competitions provides a forum for teams to showcase the impact of their outreach efforts and be evaluated by executives serving as judges. National champion teams advance to the prestigious World Cup. About Enactus Ethiraj. Enactus, the social entrepreneurship venture of Ethiraj College, has a strong membership of over 700 members. Realizing the need to be the change makers, it has come up with the idea of many project plans for the benefit of downtrodden communities. Enactus Ethiraj basically believes in creating an impact on the world through its community based projects. The various projects of Enactus Ethiraj are Project Screen Paint Printing, Project Himsa Silk, Project Jammy Delight, Project Enkalan, Project Ethiraj, Project Adsofa. How does an actors team work? And an actors team first, we target a community. We select a community depending upon the downtrodden areas of Tamil Nadu, Chennai, and we do a field research on the community. And after the field research, we come up with a solution, and we tap the necessary resources through the sponsors and through other resources, and then we implement the project. Business model of Enactus community projects. We train the women, provide them with the required resources, and help them in marketing the finished products. The current ongoing project of Enactus, the current project of Enactus is Project Nambikai. The project was inaugurated in the academic year 2018-19. Team Enactus Ethiraj had an exceptional opportunity to visit a community at Manavara Nagar, Tiruvallur district. There are about 90 families who were bonded laborers previously and were released by the government. Both the government as well as the NGOs have helped this community, but it was not sufficient to the enormous need of the community. So the Enactus team has taken an initiative to raise the standard of living of this community. A survey was conducted among the families to accumulate information about their needs and problems. Later, by analyzing the needs of the community, student entrepreneurs came up with an idea of making bangles, earrings, and organic soaps. These products made by the community are in turn sold inside the college campus during various college events, and the profit from these are collected and given back to the community people. Impact of Project Nambikai, this project has improved the livelihood of almost 25 women who were earlier bonded laborers. Student activities. Enactus is also a student-oriented club enriched with student-related activities. Enactus stalls. Enactus Ethiraj sets up stalls during our college fest and acts as the middleman between the community and customers and gives all profits earned back to the community. Interdepartmental events. Enactus also conducts various interdepartmental events to bring out the student talents. We also inaugurated our annual fest, Nambike in the year 2018-19 and Magrilchi in the year 2019-20 and conducted various competitions for our students. Why should you join Enactus? To bring out the entrepreneur in you, to change lives around you, to give a better life to somebody and make the environment a better place to live in, to have an experience of leading and working in a team, and to highlight in your CV of financial management skills, human resource skills, and marketing skills. Above all, Above all, this being part of Enactus will help us discover your skills and an exposure to the community and make you understand the purpose and value of life and how precious life is. More than hearing from us about Enactus Ethiraj, let's hear the experiences of the students after the visit to the community. Video.
ஆக்சுவலாக இதான் என்னோடய ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் எத்திராஜ் காலேஜில் கம்யூனிட்டி விசிட் இப்போ தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் கூட்டிகிட்டு போனாங்க எனாக்டர்ஸ் கிளப்லேருந்து. அது வந்துட்டு ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருந்ததோட நான் நிறைய தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டேன். அதாவது எவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க, நம்ம வந்துட்டு எவ்வளோ லைக் இது கிடைக்கல அது கிடைக்கலன்னா நம்ம எவ்வளோ சண்டை அவங்களுக்கு எஜுகேஷன் எவ்வளோ கஷ்டமாக இருக்குது. அப்பயும் கூட அங்கே லிட்டரலி பீப்புள் அங்கே இருக்க விமன்ஸ்லாம் வந்துட்டு நம்ம புதுசாக சொல்லி கொடுத்து நாங்கள் நிறையா சோப் எப்படி செய்யணும், அவங்க ஹேண்டிகிராஃப்ட்ஸ், அவங்க அவங்க டெய்லி லிவிங்காக அவங்க செய்கிறதுக்காக நாங்கள் நிறைய சொல்லி கொடுத்தோம். அப்போ கூட அவங்க அது ஒரு பேர்டனாக நினச்சிக்காம அவங்க அது செஞ்சு தே ஏர்னிங் ஃபார் தெம் செல்ஸ். ஸோ அது ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருந்தது. ஐ எம் ஸோ தேங்க்ஃபுல். தேங்க்யூ.
ஐம் ஹேமப்ரியா. ஸோ நான் வந்து இங்கே திருவள்ளூர் டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் மணவாள நகருக்கு போயிருந்தேன். எனாக்டர்ஸ் கிளப்லேருந்து கூட்டிகிட்டு போயிருந்தாங்க. ஸோ அங்கே எப்படின்னா அங்கே போகும்போது ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்துச்சு, பீஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருந்துச்சு. இப்போது அங்கே போனோடனே அங்கே கம்யூனிட்டி பீப்புளுக்குலாம் நான் வந்து வேஸ்ட் கிளாத்தில் மேட் எப்படி செய்யுது, டோர் மேட் எப்படி செய்யுதுன்னு கற்றுக் கொடுத்துருந்தேன். ஸோ நான் வந்து சொல்லிக் கொடுக்குறேன்னு சொல்லும் போது வெறும் ஒருத்தவங்க தான் நான் வரேன், மிச்சவங்களாம் வந்து அதை எப்படி பண்ணுறது கஷ்டமாக இருக்குன்னு வச்சாங்க. ஒருத்தவங்க இனிஷியேட் பண்ணாங்க வரத்துக்கு. அவங்க பண்ணுறது வந்து ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக இருந்ததுன்னு சொன்னோடனே அதை அழகாக பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சோடனே எல்லாருக்குமே அது பண்ணணும் ஒரு ஆசை வந்து எல்லாருமே இன்ட்ராக்டிவாக நல்லா அதை கற்றுக்க வந்தாங்க. ஸோ அது ஒரு நைஸ் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸாக இருந்துச்சு. தேங்க்யூ.
Hi, I'm Neeraja. So Enactus Ethiraj this year basically started with the Project Nambikai. Project Nambikai focuses on a community in Tiruvallur. This Tiruvallur community, they were bonded labor in the beginning and then they were released by the government. Even though when they are released by the government, they didn't have all the necessary amenities which they want. So Enactus, we teach them certain products and then we market it for them. We make them entrepreneurs and they're budding entrepreneurs, which gives them confidence as well as to stand on their own leg.
ஹாய் எவ்ரி ஒன். இன்றைக்கி வந்து நாங்கள் திருவள்ளூரோட மணவாள நகருக்கு கம்யூனிட்டி விசிட் போயிருந்தோம். ஸோ அந்த இடம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சிட்டி மாதிரி இல்லாமல் ரொம்ப வில்லேஜ் மாதிரி ரொம்ப அழகாக இருந்தது. பார்க்கவே நல்ல நேச்சுரல் ஏர் எல்லாமே சூப்பராக இருந்தது. அங்கே இருந்த பீப்புளுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுறது, அவங்களோட ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் ஆஃப் லிவிங்க்கு அவங்கள ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுறது, அந்த மாதிரிலாம் நிறைய பண்ணோம். ரொம்ப ஒண்டர்ஃபுல்லாக இருந்தது எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். ஸோ தேங்க்யூ அண்ட் ஆக்டர்ஸ் எத்திராஜ் ஃபார் கிவிங் மீ சச் ஒண்டர்ஃபுல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். இன்னும் மெனி மோர் விசிட்ஸ் போகணுன்னு ரொம்ப ஆசையாக இருக்குது.
Very grateful to Enactus Ethiraj for giving me an opportunity to go and serve the community in Tiruvallur. They were very enthusiastic. They were very welcoming, very welcoming, and they were very enthusiastic to learn new stuff. It was such a great opportunity to go serve them and learn from them as well. I would say we learned more than what we imparted to them.
I was very enthusiastic and surprised to see how children, even though they had very few facilities, they were very eager to go to school. And they were very encouraging, even though they didn't have a lot of facilities, they didn't really fuss about what they had and what they did not have. They were happy, they were content with whatever they had. And they were, even when we taught them, basic stuff, they were very eager to learn, very enthusiastic, very competitive, and very open-handedly and heartily took whatever we gave to them. And they promised to share it with themselves, and they continued in doing so, to share it with themselves. I thank Ethiraj and Enactus wholeheartedly for giving me the opportunity to visit that community and look forward to doing so in the future.
So how can you contact us? You can contact us to the Department of Corporate Secretaryship, or you can connect to our student president, Ms. Yuveda of 3rd BCom CSA batch, and we will be also forwarding the Google form link through your class groups, wherein you can register yourself as an Actors Club members, and so join us in creating a better you and a better world to live in. Thank you, guys.
Good noon to all of you present. I'm very happy to welcome you all for this session of the orientation program, wherein I, Dr. Padmini, Director of the Center for Women's Studies of Ethiraj College, is to present about the center and invite you to join us. The Center for Women's Studies The Center for Women's Studies was actually funded by the University Grants Commission, and it was started in the year 2009-10. The former Dr. Indrani Sridharan was the principal when the Women's Studies Center was started in 2009-10. The first director of the center was Dr. Kadambari, who was in the English department, and later the center was headed by Dr. Aranga Malliga, who is the present head and associate professor of the Department of Tamil and Ethiraj College. And now I'm heading the Center for Women's Studies. Actually, the Center for Women's Studies, excuse me, please. The center, actually, as I told you, is funded by the UGC, was established in the academic year 2009-10. The center has developed sufficient infrastructure and initiated work on research, publication, documentation, and extension activities. The Center for Women's Studies acts as a link between academicians, activists, government functionaries, NGO personnel, and media persons in order to mainstream the issues of women and gender in the society and to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal of promoting equality and empowerment. The center pursues a comprehensive, critical, and balanced understanding of India's socio-economic realities and governance. We in the center actually socially and politically charge the children. And as I told you earlier, Dr. Padmini, Associate Professor of English, is the director of the center. And the president of the center, the center actually has office bearers who are representatives of students. One, Ms. Rajalakshmi T from second BA History is the president. Vice president is Ms. Darshini A from second BA Economics. Secretary is Shweta A from second BCom Secretary, Corporate Secretaryship. And joint secretary is Ms. Charu Kritika from second BA History. And there are various programs and activities conducted by the Women's Studies Center in order to empower the students of Ethiraj College, the younger minds. These activities include teaching, research and documentation, outreach activities, field visits, awareness programs, training programs, conferences, seminars, workshops, and we also publish books, research reports, teaching manuals, monographs, and booklets. And as a center, as a studies center, we also offer two courses. One course is a free certificate course for the UG aided children. And this certificate, since it's a UGC funded center, the certificate is totally free. We don't charge any fees for this. And this certificate course is called a certificate course in gender studies. Is conducted with 100 students on roll from various disciplines and years, first, second, and third years from various disciplines enroll themselves in this course, and they get 2 credits for it. Lawyers, political persons, police officials, academicians, social activists, they're all invited to share their observations with students and take class for them during this certificate course. And students also do project work and engage themselves in activities related to gender studies, women's studies, So some of the programs I would like to bring to your notice, which we organized in the year 2020-21. We organized interdepartmental photography and creative writing competitions in commemoration of the International Day of Girl Child. And we also organized poetry reciting competition on women's issues and status, in which many students with great enthusiasm participated. We celebrated the International Women's Day with week-long events that included lectures, webinars, and discussions during the first week of March 2021. You see on the screen two eminent faces of the college. One is our principal, Dr. S. Kodai ma'am, delivering her Women's Day message to the students, and the other one is Dr. D.B. Usharani ma'am, Vice Principal of the college, greeting the students on Women's Day. And international webinars, two international webinars were organized in the year. Uh, One on feminism in the global landscape on 24th November 2020 with a resource person from Indonesia. And the second international webinar on gender equality was organized on between 8th and 9th of March 2021. And the resource persons were from New Delhi, USA, and Pakistan. And I have a few pictures for your seeing. This is Dr. Mutmaina from Indonesia addressing the students during the international webinar. And this is Dr. Namra Munir from Pakistan addressing the participants of the conference. And this is Dr. Rehnamol Ravindran addressing the students. And we also organized special lectures, which include two important lectures. One by Ms. Rupa, a para-Olympic international athlete, and who was professionally a senior manager, Bank of Maharashtra, addressed the students. And the other important lecture was by Professor C. Lakshman, faculty at Madras Institute of Development Studies, Chennai. And this year's program also have begun, and we had in collaboration with the Yuva Shakti and NGO, we organized this Triple Heroes Tribute program, wherein we celebrated the contribution of Subramanya Bharati, Mahatma Gandhi, and Vivekananda for women's cause. So this year we are beginning with the first years, and I would like all the first year UG students to enroll yourselves in the Women's Studies Center, because we in Ethiraj College want our children not just to be girls, we want you to be legends. So please enroll yourself in the Women's Studies Center and equip yourself and get empowered. Right? Our office bearers, Rajalakshmi, as I told you earlier, these children will approach you. President Rajalakshmi, Vice President Darshini, Secretary Sweta, Joint Secretary Charu Kritika will approach you all personally and through mails. We'll also share a Google form to the departments through mail, and through that you can enroll yourself in the study center, and you can always approach me in person also. I'm Dr. Padmini from the Department of English, Ethiraj College for Women. All the best for your graduation program and post-graduation program. Keep smiling and be good. Thank you, girls. Bye.
Yeah, very good morning, girls, and a warm welcome for all the first UG and PG. And I'm Gomati, a placement officer for Ethiraj College. And we are here going to see the activities, what is happening on the placement cell. Okay, so everyone used to have a everyone used to have a confusion that what we are going to do on the first year with the placement cell. Here I wanted to mention like for the activities happening on the second and third years, you have to get ready on the first year itself. Okay, first I wanted to mention you like in the placement cell the activities what we are doing. The first is Bhavisha, it happened on the third year for all the final year graduates, where you'll be having an idea for the planning of your higher education, competitive examinations, or even for your government examination, or even for corporate jobs. Okay, so we used to enhance the knowledge of the candidate via career guidance, of skill training, guest lectures from the corporate expertise, and even the industry visits. As it is pandemic, we are not at present continuing it. In future, might be with a positive thoughts, we'll be back again for the industry visits also. The workshop also happens for the candidates as well as according to the specializations with the business studies, arts and humanities, IT, and for life science graduates. Personality development training happens from the second and third years on the classroom sessions. For the first years, we always used to give you the link to go and appear on the online class modes. Okay, so where you will be having an idea like how it is going to happen for the examinations on the online test on the first round for the placement things. The internship happens from the second year. So here I wanted you to mention like internship also has the eligibility criteria with 60 percentage. Okay, so for enrolling onto the placement cell, it happens on the registrations of third years. But for the candidates from the first year, we always wanted to share the information what is the requirement in the corporate world. Okay, so for these things, even though you will be getting the information from your department placement in charge, ma'am, we always used to trigger a mail from the placement side. Okay, for this we probably need your personal email ID. You will also get a college email ID from the college department. They used to give you a official college email ID with your roll number or your with your admission number. And be very careful, like you must always register your Google forms whichever comes from the placement self via your college official email ID only. Okay, create a personal email ID. Okay, I don't want you to give you the email ID which is merged with your social network like Facebook or a Twitter, even with other social networks. Okay, Instagram and all. I wanted you people to create a separate email ID where this email ID you have to mention in your resume. Okay, and this email ID you can add up, because in Android phones for the Gmail section you can even add as many as possible the email IDs into the notification of Gmail app. So you can add the notification for your college email ID as well as the personal email ID which you have given to your placement cell or any other official works. Okay, and while creating the Gmail email ID, you have to be very careful. Like you should not put an underscore, okay, and a nickname like Rocky, Sweetie, Cutie. No, we don't want this type of email IDs. Be very professional, okay. Your email ID must contain your name or your date of birth or date of your surname, whatever it might be. Okay, no dots in between, because what this happens is that there is not a rule. I'm mentioning that there might be some careless mistakes, even it will be done by you itself. Okay, so for example, if you're mentioning underscore, it might go into the part of an hyphen. That time your email ID will be an invalid email in my database. Okay, so always create an email ID with your name, your date of birth, or date of year, or your surname at the rate of gmail.com.
and always use this personal email ID only for your official purpose, like in your resume, in your forthcoming internship things and all. Okay. And the next, as I already told you, like sharpening your skills is very important. In the first year, you will be having a practice on these areas, like even if you wanted to enroll, or else candidates who already have a French as your second language, okay, this candidate will have a special concern on the companies like EY and all. They used to mention like candidate who is having a second language is for French, Germany, or Spanish, they'll be having a special points. Okay. And logical reasoning, aptitude, and current affairs, always keep an updation on it. There are so many mock tests available on the uh, online modes. Okay, even if you're going and googling onto the online mock test, you'll be having so many online mock tests. We here mentioning all this area to get prepared in the first year itself, because you will be having an internship offer from the second year. Offer in the sense, you'll be having an opportunity to apply for your internship from the second year. Okay, so making out the application post, and after applying you should not prepare for your internship online test. Internship is going to be typically like your permanent placement offer. For example, on the third year, candidate used to register, post on which registration they used to get a link for the online test. For the online test, they have to complete the online test. Around there, they'll be having a short list for the group discussion, technical interview, and the personal interview. Okay. So instead of applying post on that, you are preparing, it is not going to work because it will be a very short notice. Okay. So always get prepared from now on. Make a preparation, like which are the areas, as I told you, like optic aptitude examination, or reasonings, logical reasonings. There are so many question papers available in the Google. Okay, just go and Google it. Apart from that, you will also get a link from the placement cell for your soft skill training or for online training. Okay, via that you can prepare yourself. Okay, so don't make a postponement like just join the college, I want to take some time. No, it is not going to work. Be a preparation mode now itself. And as I told you, the eligibility criteria, always all the companies, even for eligibility criteria, you need minimum of 60%. Okay, from the day one, each and every session, even the principal ma'am or control of examination ma'am have mentioned like about the marks and credit scores, even your NME, non-major elective soft skill papers, because these papers will be also included into your percentage. Okay, it is not like in your 12th standard you would have had a Tamil language, English, and 4 papers, where for the admission we used to take only the main papers. But for the placement cell, what happens is that they will not take only that 4 main papers. Like leaving the language and English. In placement, for the eligibility criteria, they always used to make an aggregate of all the subjects, the language, English, your main paper, allied paper, non-major elective of NME, so soft skills, everything. Okay, so keep in mind, be always very clear that 60% is a minimum aggregate. I'm noting it down. In some companies, they used to ask an aggregate of 70%, 75%. Okay, so already for, I hope now the candidates who are in the first PG would have already received a email for the Deloitte internship. You would have already applied and you are waiting for your online examination for the internship. What I mentioned, like from the second UG and the first PG, you will be having a internship application. This is a sample thing as of now, the current year internship of Deloitte application invite. And here they would have mentioned like, on the first MCOM and the second UG. Okay, so all the candidates be very clear, like you're going to get your internship and other additional things like competition. This Deloitte, they have called up an competition of graduate maverick system, where it will be a crash award across the country. At the same time, the best participants will be awarded for an internship. The best internship performer will be awarded as a pre-placement offer. Your pre-placement offer means you used to get a job before you sit for the final placement itself. For example, on the you got selected for the internship and you're working minimum of 1.5 or 2 months on the concerned company. The company is feeling very satisfactory about your performance, and they feel like they wanted to recruit you, because as I already have finished your online examination, group discussion, technical interview, as a same process of the placement drive, you've already completed it on the second UG or the first PG. So probably seeing your performance, they used to recruit you for the permanent placement. So here you'll be having a skipping of the final process. Okay, so it will be a pre-placement offer. Okay. So this is of 2020. Last year on August, they've completed the contest and they won the third place across the country from Ethiraj. It is Team Aurora. Okay, it happened from the Deloitte company. And as I told you, like prepare yourself. There is 2 to 3 modes, like preparing a platform. Okay, for example, if you're registering on a TNPC website, okay, you can say that, ma'am, I don't have an idea at present to complete a examination. I wanted you to mention like everything is a practice. Okay, just give a practice. Register on TNPC website. Okay, take online mock test, register on Naukri portals. For this Naukri portals, if you want to register, you have to prepare a resume. You have to create your personal email ID. As I already mentioned, you like it should be not on the social media. Okay, and solving case study. It is not only for the business studies, even for the life science graduates. There is so many case studies available. Okay, arts and humanities, everything. So you have to go browse the job portals where they would have mentioned like these are the requirements for this kind of designation. So you'll get an idea. Okay, if you're in economics, you will be having options to go into the statistical division. Okay, so there's so many things where you can go and learn and you can able to know, like understand, okay, where your core area is having an option and explore for the higher education, as well as there will be some concern designation will be given as desirable. Okay, desirable in the sense where you can add up your knowledge on a specific extended area like interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. Okay, you will have an idea, because as you've stepped in to UG, you should not feel like, no, let it be for the first year I'll go only with the academics in the college, then post on which I can able to multiply things. No, it is not like that. Okay, start your work now itself. Go search. Searching is the only one thing which will you where you can able to feel like you know extra a lot. You can go and get ideas from your department, ma'am, class teacher, everyone. Post on which getting an idea from the googling part of job portals where they used to say like bachelor degree, I have a vacancy on the business presentation. Okay, for the business presentation, it is a common designation where all the degree graduates are eligible. Like McKinsey used to call all the candidates. Okay, we used to get the select from the licensed graduate. We used to select get a select from the economics, English, and business studies. So it is not like you have to go only on your core area. You can even try on the multidisciplinary. Okay, so make a practice, that's very important. And this is a glimpse for how to register on the TNPC, because each and every time when a person says like register on TNPC, probably you won't have an idea where, how to go and register. Okay, go Google it for the TNPC website. Okay, you'll be getting the website where you can able to make a new register. Okay, clicking on the new register, it used to be a similar like a Gmail ID creation only. Okay, you can go and type for the user ID and check the availability. Post on the availability. If the availability is there, you can create a password. Okay, post on creating the passwords. You can give your details as your father name, your name with initial. Even in the Tamil, you have to type. So you can type the Tamil words into the Google typing form where you can type in English in your name. It will be translating as a typing in Tamil, so that you can copy and paste it there. Okay, so it used to ask the SSLC mark sheet number. Okay, and your name as per the SSLC mark sheet. So you can type it over there and then upload your photograph. Okay, it's very simple. Take even from your Android mobile phone also. You don't want to go and scan it and upload it. Okay, just take a clip on your phone camera itself and you can upload it. There will be a proportion of MB KBs. Okay, so you can do it. It is also same for the signature. Signature also you can do the same thing. Post on uploading the passport size photo and the signature. It used to give a preview like this. Okay, after checking out the preview, the next window will be like the confirmation. Okay, so the confirmation will be giving all your details like your login ID and your photograph, signature, everything. So checking all the things, you can give a submit form. So proceeding for the submission form, it will be going to the next screen where the payment link will happen. It is a one-time payment. It is not all the time it will ask. It is a one-time payment. So once you click for this payment window, and that's it, you will be clearing, you will be submitting and completing all the TNPC website things. So once you go and check with your profile, there will be your detail. Okay, so what are the details you have uploaded? Your signature, your photographs will be there. Okay, so once all the things are completed, you can daily or even with the notification of TNPC, because there is a notification and the declaration, like within 6 months or 9 months there will be a notification for the TNPC examination. Now you can wonder like what kind of with the qualification I can able to apply. Even for the 12th qualification there will be a call for. Okay, so I'm not saying like go and search a job on the TNPC website now itself. It is going to give you an experience. Apply for a job, okay, where you'll be getting a all ticket generation. You can download it and you can go to the TNPC examination. Okay, so it is going to be a typical process of your placement. Okay, so you'll be registering for the corporate online examination. Post on, you'll be getting a test link. Okay, so once a text link is there into your laptop email things, and there'll be a reason like what are the questions will be asked. What are the questions will be asked? It's a general studies, and it is going to be a current affairs kind of thing. They used to give a partition of 150 marks and 20 marks like that. Okay, so if you are going for a company wise thing, some companies used to give a breakage in the first online link itself, and they used to say like this is your 90 minutes test where you will be having half an hour on your general studies and half an hour for your core examination, and half an hour it is going to be a comprehension thing. And there used to be so many conditions apply, and you have to go through the condition and post on that only you have to start this test. So this TNPC registration and downloading the hall ticket, applying a job will give you an experience, and you will know like what's happening in the online portals. Okay, so this gives an experience to give a comfort flow on your placement cell opportunities also. Okay, so Wipro and TCS Ignite, these two both corporates for the last year, they did the process the same like this only. You will be registering, you'll be downloading your hall ticket, you'll be going on the concerned slots on the test. Okay, for the last 2 years they are doing it online. Before 2 years you will be going to the center like same as TNPC. Okay, so make a practice of it. You will be getting an idea like how to feed the form, submit the form, how to download an all ticket. Okay, so it will be very useful. The candidate who have not completed 18 at present, after completing only you can able to enter, because candidate who are under 18 they can't able to register. The minimum registration age will be 18. Okay, the candidate who have completed 18 can register. Who have not completed, you can wait. I hope within this December candidate will be completing your 18. Okay, and next I wanted to mention like the credit system. Again it has been mentioned with control of examination ma'am, where she mentioned like swayam courses you can increase your credits and all. Okay, so I wanted you to mention over here is like a resume will carry a general information and your objective and your academics. Like for a second year, if you're going to apply for an internship, you'll be giving like 10th, 12th, and your UG till second semester. This is your percentage. Okay, this is a normal resume. Apart from this, HR used to always see like whether there is any additional qualification. Okay, qualification in the sense whether the candidate is any kind of adding on a leadership position, and even it is going to be an NCC or NSS. If there is any kind of extracurricular activities, extra language as I mentioned, and even online courses. If I'm mentioning like you're appeared for the SWAYAM courses, and there will be a minimum credits of 2, 3 and all. Okay, so minimum duration will be around some 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. Okay, it depends upon the course what you're selecting. Okay, so for this 2 semester, if you're completing at least minimum of one course, you'll be getting 3 credits. Okay, where it is going to add up on your certifications of academic itself. So it is going to be helpful for your higher education as well as on the weightage of the placement process. Okay, the company always used to say like the candidates, whoever is having a usual academic records, it's a normal thing. If the candidate is having a number of online projects or internship or online certification course, they feel like the candidate is responsible and really very clear on their planning path. Okay, so the HR always needs a candidate who has a self responsibility and a future planning, and the candidate who keep on giving a vision of learning. Okay, so your resume speaks over there for these kind of things once you're mentioning your online courses. Okay, for the SWAYAM courses, I'll give you again the registration process. Okay, you can go for the swayam.gov.in. Okay, again you can go for the new registration. For new registration, it will be asking like either you wanted to go with Google or Microsoft or Facebook. Don't go with that. Okay, always create a new user ID on the Swayam website itself. I repeat again, don't ever merge all these things towards your Microsoft, Google, or Facebook. Always create a new creation on the website. It's very important. And the second thing, again, it will be ask for the availability of the ID, and you can go, you can create your password and post on which the profile will be created, and you can able to give like you're from this college. It will be asking a question of whether your college is registered under Swayam. You can say yes. Okay. So then it will be having a list of courses where it will be having management studies, arts and science, arts and humanities. A post on which selecting there will be a drop list. You can go and check it across. You once you click the courses, it will be giving you the duration. I wanted you to mention like don't ever feel like I'm going to apply for the course and I'm going to pay a registration fees of enrollment fees they used to mention of minimum of 1,000 or 1,500. Okay, this fees is payable only once you wanted to take up a test. Okay, so first you can complete your course, go the course with the part of Thursday or Wednesday, they will be uploading of the video for the classes. Okay. On Saturday, they used to give you an assignment. Everything is online. Okay. And even these videos will be after 6 o'clock, evening 6 o'clock only. So it will be not clashing with your college hours. Okay. So once you're going to keep on finishing all these courses for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, once you gain the confidence, like, yes, I'm ready for the examination, that time you can pay the examination fees and apply for the examination and get the certification. So once you're applying for the examination, you'll be getting a certificate as a with your photo and with the course detail, and it will be sent it via post to you. Also get a hot copy from the Swayam. Okay. So here I wanted you to be very clear. From here, you're going to start not only your academics and also on the extra activities like you're practicing of mock tests, registering on the TNPC. And one more thing I wanted to mention, whenever there is a link from the placement, okay, related with 1 hour webinar from Deloitte or EY or from Zifo and even from TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, the company used to always capture the data of the candidates who were appearing and attending the webinar. Okay, don't feel like it is going to be a half an hour session. What is the use of attending this session? Always keep in mind they even have a track of candidate who appeared for their webinar. Okay, so once you are going to appear on the webinar, it is going to be a common topic. It is not like this is a topic which is not relevant to my UG specialization. It is not like they always come out with a common topic. Okay, as a motivational talk, as a common whatever the things which is happening on the current market scenario. It might be into the part like college to corporate. Okay, there'll be what are the expectation of the corporate things. They used to mention so many sessions like this. So always give a thought, like whenever you receive a link for the mail from your placement in charge ma'am stating like this is a webinar is happening, kindly give a thought to attend it. Okay, so it will used to give you a knowledge like what's happening and how it is going to be, and you will know like what kind of opportunity is available in the market. Okay, so whatever I told you for the last 10 minutes, I wanted you to give the same glimpse. It is a saying from Abraham Lincoln, like, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. And I wanted you to sharpen your knowledge and wait for the opportunities which is entering into your pathway. And all the very best. God bless you. If you have any questions and the queries, I've mentioned the email ID over here. It is ethirajplacementquery@gmail.com. I repeat, it is ethirajplacementquery@gmail.com. All the very best, girls. Hope to see you soon in the internship process. All the very best. God bless you.
Next, we have presentation from the Ethiraj Training Academy.
Vanakkam. Welcome to the orientation session, and I am happy to introduce the Ethiraj Training Academy. The Ethiraj Training Academy is the institute for the coaching classes for the competitive exam like TNPSC and bank exam, railway exam, SSC exam, as well as the civil service examination. The Ethiraj Training Academy is the unit of the Ethiraj College for the women, and we conducting the coaching classes within the college campus. I try to clarify some general doubt about the competitive exam which actually is struggling by the student. See, the competitive exam, many people think about, sir, is it possible to crack the competitive exam? Even some people asking me, can I crack the civil service exam? Shall I become an IAS officer? Is it possible, sir? Even I am not a topper, I am not a centum student. Can I crack the civil service exam? Can I become an IAS officer or the bank officer or railway officer? Like that. See, first of all, we need to understand about the competitive exam. The competitive exam based on your wisdom, not knowledge. We need the wisdom instead of the knowledge. So many people misunderstood about the competitive exam. Actually, the 100-mark student and centum student, the 90% student, அவங்களால மட்டும்தான் இதை பாஸ் பண்ண முடியும். சாதாரணமாக இருக்கிறவங்க, ஒரு ஆவரேஜ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டாக இருக்கிறவங்க, பெலோ ஆவரேஜ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டாக இருக்கவங்க பாஸ் பண்ண முடியாது அப்படின்னு நினச்சிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஆனால் ரியாலிட்டி என்ன அப்படின்னா, இந்த போட்டி தேர்வுகள் அறிவு சம்பந்தமானது, நாலேஜ் சம்பந்தமானது கிடையாது. இந்த அறிவுக்கும் நாலேஜுக்கும் வாட் இஸ் டிஃபரெண்ட் பிட்வீன் த நாலேஜ் அண்ட் த விஸ்டம் அப்படின்னா, இப்போ நம்ம ஒரு செமினார் நடத்திட்டு இருக்கோம். இது ஆன்லைனில் இல்லாமல் ஒரு வேளை ஆஃப்லைனில் இருந்துட்டு இருக்கு. செமினார் நம்ம கண்டக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். செமினார் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃப்ளோரில் இருந்துட்டு இருக்கு, இல்லை செகண்ட் ஃப்ளோரில் இருந்துட்டு இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். ஒரு திடீர்னு ஒரு ஃபயர் ஆக்சிடென்ட் ஆகிடுது. அப்போ என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, ஒரு சிலர் வந்து ஜன்னல் வழியாக ஜம்ப் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணுவாங்க, ஒரு சிலர் ஸ்டெப்ஸ் வழியாக ஓடி போக ட்ரை பண்ணுவாங்க, ஒரு சிலர் ஃபயரை அணைக்கிறதுக்கு ட்ரை பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, ஒரு சிலர் என்ன பண்ணுறதுனே தெரியல அப்படின்னு உட்காந்துட்டு இருப்பாங்க. இப்போ உங்களால் சொல்ல முடியுமா, 100க்கு 100 மார்க் எடுத்தவங்க எல்லாம் ஸ்டெப்ஸ் வழியாக போயிருப்பாங்க, 100க்கு 90 மார்க் எடுத்தவங்களாம் ஜம்ப் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க, 100க்கு 80 மார்க் எடுத்தவங்களாம் என்ன பண்ணுறதுன்னு தெரியாமல் உட்காந்துட்டு இருந்திருப்பாங்க. யூ கேனாட் கிளாசிஃபை தட் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் பீப்புள். ஸோ இட்ஸ் டோட்டலி பேஸ்ட் ஆன் தி யுவர் விஸ்டம். ஒரு இன்சிடென்ட் நடக்குது, அந்த இன்சிடென்ட்டுக்கு குயிக் டிசிஷன் மேக்கிங் பவர் எந்த அளவுக்கு உங்ககிட்ட இருக்குது அப்படின்றது தான்
Thank you all. For the patient listening. We will resume the orientation program tomorrow at 10 a.m. and the link for the same will be sent through your departments. I thank all the speakers for today's sessions profusely. Thank you, one and all.